Hey everybody, this is our fourth and final segment of the training kata of self-defense chain and combinations. Before we get started, I want to thank everybody that has been involved to help get this set up from the very beginning. When we were planning on doing this for the seminar at the ITC, I want to thank especially Austin Jamerson. Master Jamerson would come here and train with me, and we designed this whole kata together and worked it through. He helped advising on some of the self-defenses that we were doing. We kicked it back and forth. We found our strengths and our weaknesses, and we found all the different drills that can be developed from each of these positions. So I want to tell him thank you so much and helping me do this. He was going to be a big part of the seminar when we go to Vegas. And maybe next year he'll help me do another one, and we'll figure out something new and exciting to do for all that. Today, also I want to thank my daughter who's filming, and Andy and Indy Woods for their magic they're doing on bringing this to life and the video editing necessary for you all to have it. But going in today, we're in the last little part, and the last part is going to be a gun defense. Quick review of everything we've done so far. We started on the floor, someone on the mount, very dangerous position. They have a lot of control. We need to get them off of us. You do a shoulder walk to get up and get into positions with your elbows, and then we bump them, trap the arm, trap the foot, drive them over the top. He now has us in a guard. We work on escaping the guard, stomping at him. He defends against that. He attacks us with a big wild swing. We cover against that, strike across his face, trap the arm, do an arm drag. The drill is to do an arm drag across the body, uppercut into the face if we get that head to go down, protect against swings that might come with the other hand, push against the elbow, draw him across, come back in with an elbow strike. Last week we worked on the shoulder lock, how to get into that shoulder and lock it up, spin that body, brace him for knee strikes as he moves away, how to come in with your elbows, hammer fist, whatever you need to do at that position. What we're going to be going into next is this person breaks away, and it could either be this same person who goes to his last resort of pulling out a weapon, or it could be an additional attacker. The weapon that they're going to be attacking you with is going to be a gun. Now, in all these drills, whether it's with the weapon or empty hand and they're the weapon, you need to learn it. You learn it static, you learn it in positions, you learn the ABCs of it, and then you got to do it to where it breaks. What I mean by what it breaks is what happens if it doesn't go as planned. What if he goes a different way? What if he's stronger than you, or lankier than you, or smaller than you, better than you? How are you going to make it work? How do you need to adjust? So each of these positions should be practiced individually, all by themselves, with all the different types of options, all the different situations that can come up, and things you need to do instead of that what's being shown right now. And this is something when you go back to your schools and your instructor works with you, that he can do a 360 of all the different options that you have. This is just your base. This isn't the answer to everything. You need to train your full alphabet to know all your different things you need to do. And drilling with the gun is a weapon that if he pulls it out and doesn't shoot you right off the bat, because he has that choice, and there's nothing you can do about that when you're caught with a gun facing at you, it usually means he's wanting something from you, or he wants you. So we need to take advantage of that, and we need to change the strength of the gun to bring it into a position where we have an opportunity of strength for ourselves. The strength of the gun is the distance. He doesn't need to be close to you. A smart gun person who knows how to use the gun will keep it back from you. He'll keep back from you. what we're hoping is that his ego and his attitude, his need to control over you, his need to intimidate you, that you can use that to make it come closer to you. If the gun is at a distance, we're at his mercy. We got to hope that we can get a little extra distance, become a hard moving target. But if it's in that mid-range where you don't have that, we need to make him come closer to us. That won't happen if we get strong, if we get aggressive, if we show we might know what to do. We get our stance up and we get our hands up and we're watching him. He's going to keep his distance and he's going to make his commands. He may even shoot you from that distance to mainly use that to control you. If he doesn't want to kill you, if he wants to kill you, he'll shoot you right then. We want to make him step in tighter to us. So we have to go way into the please don't hurt me, the begging into positions, to draw him in, to come down low, and maybe even do some footwork of moving forward and back, and please, I don't want any trouble, and back up so he moves forward. Do a wave footwork where you go in and out and come back to get him to start extending himself. Now, again, we're going to learn a static first, where the gun is still. We're going to try to get it into a position where the gun's right on your forehead. You got different positions he can take. We're taking this one here first. Each one is similar, but each one can be very different. This is a high position. It's in the middle of your forehead. We're going to try to get the gun to be in this position. His hand is wrapped around it. It's in the front. He may have a framing hand, he may not. He's just using the gun in his position to intimidate you, pull you down. We're going to go from here, from our hands in front of us, to shooting the web of our hand up underneath. Now you'll see a lot of different self-protection people advise different moves. One of the common ones, and they say is the fastest disarm, is you'll see them come across and slap the wrist. This is pretty cool, especially if the person is unaware of this and he's just holding his hand out there. It slaps and the gun's suddenly in your hand and you're off to the side. Works great if you're bigger than him, I think. If he's big and strong, two things he's going to do. He's going to grip tight, you're going to hit an arm, he's going to sit there like a steel post, or he's going to jerk it back. And now you might have a gun, you're not going to have a wrist, and while it's being pulled back, the barrel's pointing back towards you, and you're in a lot of trouble. It's going to go off. The method I found I have the most confidence in is to go into it, anticipate the pull, and to meet the pull with the other hand. What that means is I have one hand going for the barrel, and I'm going to drive it straight up. I'm going to try to get a claw hammer effect. A lot of these handguns have a little duck bill on them. This one has a pretty good size one. Others are not as big and prominent, but they usually have some sort of little duck bill sticking out. We're going to try to drive that into his hand through here, putting the pressure on that area between his thumb and fingers. To do that, we need to make this barrel go up. Also, we need the other hand. The other hand is going to go forward and it's going to catch it as it's coming back. You're going to catch the back of the wrist. You're going to catch through here. Thumb on the inside, fingers over the top. And you're going to catch here and stabilize this as it's going back and going forward. So it may be here. I'm going to catch it through here. I'm going to drive it over the top, and I'm going to crash inside. I need to move my head from being directly in front to being off to the side and going in. I'm not going to go way to the side because that gives him strength over my strength. His arms will be in a power position. Might be one hand, two. All right, he'll be here. You move to the side, his arms are going to be stronger when your arms are extended. I need to get my arms over the top and in tight. I need the gun to the side. I need to be in this position so my strength is moving in with him. As I move in with him, I'm going to drive this over the top. and I'm going to drive this barrel over the top and straight into his face. I'm going to try to ram it into his eyes, his nose, his mouth. I'm going to knock it into his teeth. Trapping, striking through, holding on, striking a second time, maybe going for a third time, and then ripping away if I can. If I rip away, I have the option of tucking it underneath my arms, having my hands up, being prepared for what he throws next. I don't know if I have if I have a weapon, I would go to mine. If I don't, I don't know if this is a good gun to use. You'll find out by how he acts. If he's afraid, he may back up, but if he's aggressive, he may not. He may keep coming at you. He may try to take this gun away just like you took it away from him. He'll be fighting over it from you. At which time you might want to move back, slap the bottom, rechamber, and take control of this. He only knows if this is a good gun. If he keeps charging while you're loaded, you be prepared to use it either as a blunt weapon or to fire. It may not fire, so you be ready to use it as a blunt weapon to strike him with and continue fighting. Now you have at least something to hit with, harder than your hands. I wouldn't always count on his weapon being the final weapon. So, again, the movement is here, hands here, down low and up, you low, hands high. Please don't show me. Please don't. Please, I'll do anything. I have money in my pocket. Get him to thinking for a moment. Ask him questions. Talk to him. Make him say something. There's two things you can count on. Your mind can't be in two places at one time. If you get him to answer and talk to you, even if it's to tell you to shut up, that's when you go. Because you can't be thinking words and thinking actions at the same time. The second point brings us to the next level of the self-defense. The next level is to always think that he is in action. He is in movement. He is being present with you. He's using his body, his words, his language, and his weapon for power and intimidation. What that means is the gun may not be static. It may not be sitting here on your forehead where you can shoot up and grab. It may be part of his body English. It may be part of his movement. He may be coming in. He may be coming out. He may be framing with one hand and using this. He may try to hit you with this weapon first, which time you might have to cover and take a shot and be ready. What you have to know is when to go for it. The time to go for it sometimes is not when it's sitting still. If he's a person of action and moving back and forth, when it's sitting still, he now has one great advantage. The moment you move, he can pull. He can pull, and you're now having to jump really deep and over to the side, and you may not get it at all. The time to do it is when he's going forward, because he can't come back. He's going in. All right? What was taught to us is you can't go two different directions at one time. You're either going to be going forward or you're going to be going back. If you're static, you got the back. If you're going forward, you're going forward. That's when you need to catch it. So in the first step, learn to get out of the way, strike it, and use it. And the second step is learn to be more active. Where the gun is part of the intimidation of the whole body, not just the gun in itself. Part of the language, part of the talking, part of the moving around, part of the action of going in, part of the intimidation, and then striking and breaking it loose. The kata portion of this is where it looks like you just finished doing the elbow. In the kata, we're going to come back to here and do this. This is the part that a lot of you guys that are green belts and above know from a kata named Odan. When I saw the self-defense, I immediately thought of that hand combination that's right there. We're going to take this part of that kata and make it this part in the self-defense. Instead of here, it's going to be here. But the part that you shoot up when you do this is going to be this. The part that your hands do this is going to be the part where you catch the wrist and you flip forward. Just like you would do this in spear hand and center punch, you're going to be here, taking the gun, grabbing the wrist, driving the gun into his face, and that would be like the spear hand going in. The gun going forward into the face is just like your spear hand going forward into the throat. You would take that and drive into his face, you grab and strike again and follow through with a punch. And then move away, take your action as needed. Either here, be prepared to fight with a hand tucked under, the gun tucked away, or slap the bottom reach chamber and take your chances of it being a loaded gun effective for defending yourself. In the kata combination, again, we would be from in this position, come back, knee strike, elbow, up, spin, into the punch. In the self-defense, with your partner, starting from here, shooting up, catching, driving in, driving forward, striking twice, and then follow through with an additional punch. If necessary, then move it away. That completes the whole kata. To put it all together, you would be on the floor, starting the kata on your back. Person's in the mount. You would do your shoulder walk to get your elbows into position. You get your bump here to shoot this, to catch here, trapping, pushing over into the guard, controlling, shooting your leg back out, breaking loose, stomping down. He defends. He comes at you with a big swing. You're covering, striking, trapping, arm dragging, uppercut punching from the inside. Dragging the arm, pushing, and then dragging it around to an elbow strike, into a shoulder lock, move it in, pulling it around. Knee strike, grabbing, elbow strike. Move it away. Please don't hurt me. Coming around, grabbing, striking, and moving away. Completing the whole series. This would be done one after another with your partner when you get an opportunity to do this back in your schools, or just practicing on your own in pieces as if you're really defending yourself against these situations. The beauty of the kata, it reminds you to practice defending from a mount, practice escaping a guard, practice defending against a swing. It could be a swing, it could be a club, it could even be a knife coming around where you're moving inside, catching that arm. And then arm barring, how to do an arm drag, how to manipulate an elbow. We covered what they do if they bend that arm the other direction last week. How to strike them from there, how to move in, control that shoulder. Knee striking, bend over, controlling him if he moves away, hammer fisting to the back of the neck, and the last one, the defense against the gun to the head. I hope you enjoyed learning these. I hope you practice these. I hope they help you not only in practice, but they help you for your black belt test. So enjoy. They'll show the video one more time of the kata itself, and then practice it all together. Have a good week, and hope to see you soon. Thank you.